I cannot live without books. Do you want to know who you are? Don't ask. Act. Action will delineate and define you. I predict future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them. Honesty is the first chapter of the book Wisdom. The legitimate powers of government extend to such acts only as are injurious to others. It does me no injury for my neighbor to say there are 20 gods or no God. It neither picks my pocket nor breaks my leg. The man who reads nothing at all is better educated than the man who reads nothing but newspapers. I sincerely believe that banking establishments are more dangerous than standing armies, and that the principle of spending money to be paid by posterity, under the name of funding, is but swindling futurity on a large scale. On matters of style, swim with the current. On matters of principle, stand like a rock. The most valuable of all talents is that of never using two words when one will do. I'm a greater believer in luck, and I find the harder I work the more I have of it. We in America do not have government by the majority. We have government by the majority who participate. I would rather be exposed to the inconveniences attending too much liberty than to those attending too small a degree of it. Our civil rights have no dependence on our religious opinions any more than our opinions in physics or geometry. History, in general, only informs us what bad government is. Nothing gives one person so much advantage over another as to remain always cool and unruffled under all circumstances, determined never to be idle. No person will have occasion to complain of the want of time, who never loses any. It is wonderful how much may be done, if we are always doing. I had rather be shut up in a very modest cottage with my books, my family, and a few old friends, dining on simple bacon, and letting the world roll on as it liked, than to occupy the most splendid post, which any human power can give. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. The whole art of government consists in the art of being honest. There is nothing more unequal than the equal treatment of unequal people. All should be laid open to you without reserve, for there is not a truth existing which I fear, or would wish unknown to the whole world. If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. Timid men prefer the calm of despotism to the tempestuous sea of liberty. The equal rights of man, and the happiness of every individual, are now acknowledged to be the only legitimate objects of government. I think one travels more usefully when they travel alone, because they reflect more. It is an axiom in my mind that our liberty can never be safe but in the hands of the people themselves, and that too of the people with a certain degree of instruction. This it is the business of the state to effect, and on a general plan. Do not bite at the bait of pleasure till you know there is no hook beneath it. I was bold in the pursuit of knowledge, never fearing to follow truth and reason to whatever results they led. To compel a man to furnish funds for the propagation of ideas he disbelieves and abhors is sinful and tyrannical. Tyranny is defined as that which is legal for the government but illegal for the citizenry. I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past. How little do my countrymen know what precious blessings they are in possession of, and which no other people on earth enjoy. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Every day is lost in which we do not learn something useful. Man has no nobler or more valuable possession than time. I am increasingly persuaded that the earth belongs exclusively to the living and that one generation has no more right to bind another to its laws and judgments than one independent nation has the right to command another. I never considered a difference of opinion in politics, in religion, in philosophy, as cause for withdrawing from a friend. The will of the people is the only legitimate foundation of any government, and to protect its free expression should be our first object. Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government. I hold it that a little rebellion now and then is a good thing, and as necessary in the political world as storms in the physical. Peace, commerce, and honest friendship with all nations, entangling alliances with none. I believe that banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. If once the people become inattentive to the public affairs, you and I, and Congress and assemblies, judges and governors, shall all become wolves. It seems to be the law of our general nature, in spite of individual exceptions. Be polite to all, but intimate with few. The natural progress of things is for liberty to yield, and government to gain ground. I hope that we shall crush in its birth the aristocracy of our moneyed corporations which dare already to challenge our government to a trial of strength, and bid defiance to the laws of our country. He who knows nothing is closer to the truth than he whose mind is filled with falsehoods and errors.